Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Creative Spirits Podcast, Season Interlude 2.2. And it's wonderful to be here because I wasn't here last week, and I really missed my time with Sherrie and my time with Mariella. And if you haven't caught last week's Season Interlude, it is brilliant, especially for those who wish to write or want to know more about the writing process or just want to step into the title of writer, because Mariella says this great thing right at the start of the podcast. If you pick up pen and put it to paper, you're a writer. So namaste, Mariella, and yay for all the writers out there, which is each of us. But this season interlude is a little bit of a treat, and I'm gonna own that it's a little bit of a treat.
It was definitely a treat. It was a pure treat.
Because I'm here with my beautiful co-host Sherrie of Creative Mermaids, and she has just had a Gumboots by the Sea healing and empowerment session, and so she's fresh. She has the Gumboots by the Sea glow. That is a thing, and
I do.
Here's the proof. But I'm going to get Sherrie to take the reins in a quick second. But one thing I'm going to say is, as we came on to start recording this was our whole idea for the next two interludes, is we're going to gift one another a session, and then we're going to share with you guys what happened, the ahas, the process, just to give you guys a little bit more of an insider of what goes on in a session. But one of the biggest messages that Sherrie, I'm certain you're going to talk about more, was like putting on your gown and wearing your gown and owning your gown. And my mind went to this instant default when we were about to start this, like, okay, don't let Sherrie talk it up too much. Like, I don't want it to seem egotistical. I'm going to put on my gown. We just had some amazing breakthroughs and shifts. And yes, I say yes because I say we because the healer heals. But wow, the power of us all putting on our gowns, just wow. So I got my gown on. I'm fresh from the session, spiritually high, and I have beautiful Sherrie here, who is also fresh from a session with the Gumboots glow. Sherrie, where do you start? What are you going to share? I'm so excited to hear.
Wait. You know what? I'm going to start right from there and roll as well with this whole like ego thing, because I think we talk about this a lot. And this is one thing that I really loved about this session, was that it also helped expose parts of my ego that I don't like to look at a whole lot. And it was with you holding my hand, and it was such love that it was actually turned into empowerment. And this is something why I think everyone should book sessions. Because
yes, absolutely.
No, this is magic though. This gown on, because this is magic. First off, people, she just intuitively pulled 3 cards, which is how I always do it. I just do a 3-card spread for myself. For other people, I do 7, but for me, I always do a 3-card. She was like, I don't know, I just do it a different way every time. And she's like, but for some reason for you today, I'm gonna do 3. And I'm like, because I do 3, Kate. We set this up for my session, we set the boundary beforehand, said, spirits, this is all for Sherrie, blah, blah, blah. You know how it goes. But what I love so much about it was the fact that, like I said, these ego things that I was looking at, I never ever felt like they were bad things, in the sense that, I've been thinking about these things for a couple of weeks now. These were all in my brain. And all of a sudden I'm in this safe space. We're talking about it. And they've been turned from these scary gremlins sitting on my shoulder, whispering their dark thoughts, into, no, these are lessons. This is how you grow. This is how you break your glass ceiling. These are the things that you don't even realize are stopping you. You think that this is just how it is. And then all of a sudden you're like, no way. We're talking about this. We're putting it out there. We're getting the lessons from it. And then we break that ceiling and grow and go up and go to the next level. And then I realized that this ego thing is why we often stop ourselves to even start from these sessions. Who am I to have a session? What a waste of time. I've got an hour and I can do so much with that hour. And then one of the cards came up was that I've got to stop withdrawing from my heart. And it's true. My writing lights me up. I love it, but it's a withdrawal. And often my me time is actually work time. And so it all just kind of boiled right down to, no, reinvest in yourself. Give yourself the gift of these healing sessions, because I deserve to heal too. The healer does deserve to heal. And this is something we've talked a lot about with Sarah Kay too. And, relearn, guys, relearn. But again, why these sessions are so important, that you can sit down and have someone who can sit with you and hold that space and help you relearn the things you're supposed to learn. And right now I feel so good. And these things that were really bothering me, all of a sudden I've been able to flip the switch. Exactly. Bring the shadow into light, take the things that I needed to learn, and then use them as, I don't want to say weapons, in the sense that,
no, use
but
them to
aid,
work
things
with
that go
you
forward, tools.
positively. Yes. Yes.
Yes, tools for the future of, oh, I see this coming now. I'm going to stop it sooner. Like we talked about my leaks and my leaky ship. And I'm like, no, these boundaries need to go down way sooner so that I don't get these leaks and I can see them coming. Anyway, I'm babbling for a little bit. But if you want to jump in and share.
No, I love
like,
it. I'm just like,
magic.
I think it's really important. And here's a beautiful lesson for reflection, isn't it? Because this is a real treat to get this immediate feedback. Usually the boundary of a session is like, okay, see you next time. And
Which is also important.
I need that boundary. That is a very important boundary. And I always get beautiful feedback and beautiful connections with all of my beautiful gumboots beauties, as I love to call them, because I need a session on using the word client. But to get this immediate feedback, and I know what Sherrie gets out of a session, because I feel that, I give that, I lock into that distant energy healing, and we get it together. Like it is definitely a union. But to hear it played back in this way is, my choir of spirit, soul support, beautiful people are just doing so many happy dances. My physical body can, like, I'm just like buzzing, because this is what it's about. These true shifts and this true growth. And instead of going, oh yeah, we learned that a year ago, going, wow, I'm really hearing it now, and this is really serving me now, because now is all we have. And who are we to judge past us or future us if we've got to learn this lesson now? And a lot of judgment stuff came out as a bit of an undercurrent in that session as well, that, we are so hard on ourselves. And we talk about this in our beautiful podcast all the time, but it's got to come up again, because the default is that we forget to prioritize us. And that's when the negative mind chatter, the soul sabotage, the being hard on ourselves beats us when we're down. And that doesn't serve anyone else. It does not serve anyone else. And it most importantly doesn't serve us. So I'm loving being on the sort of receiving end, I guess, of this positive praise, and that it's had this, a really obvious shifts have taken place and are going to integrate, and are going, the whole idea of, like you said, they help me keep going. That's what I'm all about with this whole idea of inner peace coming to now, but empowerment up and away, because yin and yang, balance, inner peace, empowerment, inner peace, empowerment, inner peace, empowerment. We deserve it all. We deserve our gowns. We're going to get it all. Yes. Jump in, Sherrie.
But even like, I love this with the integration too, because I sometimes find that, especially when I try to do it alone, listen to a podcast or something and journaling, and it's really important. It does clear the air, my meditations, my yoga, it all is vital for me, to kind of have that daily balance. And I find that it does help. Like my daily life is much more even keeled, to use more some ship references, but I do feel like that. But this session, just then, what I find is that often it's like, if I do exercise, the difference between yoga for me and like a cardio session is that cardio burns it off, but it doesn't get rid of it. And this session is what I felt like, instead of erasing it for it to come back up again, I sat with it, I pulled it up, and we played with it. And then it wasn't being shoved back down. It wasn't being buried. It wasn't saying this is bad. There was no point that you ever said to me, oh, that's really negative and we need to work with that. It was just this wonderful, yes, but I mean, this is what people are afraid of. I mean, if I'm me, myself, we talked about some things that I don't like talking about, even with me. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm all about going deep. I'm all about facing those things. And it's been something that I've been sitting with and really just poking at every now and then, like pulling it out a little bit. No, way too painful. Put that back down for a bit. It was never gone in my journaling sessions. It was always just, poke that, pick that. No, too fresh. No, too nothing. And this session just then was really like, oh, this was magic. This was, let's pull this up. It was like, you need to cut the cancer away and you need to sew it up, there'll still be a scar there afterwards. And so I really feel like I've been like picking at a cancer and trying to get rid of it myself, but together you're like, no, let's take this out, let's sew this up. And this scar is not a hideous thing. The scar is a sign of that you were brave enough to go in there and do the work and take it out, and it will heal, and you will look at that and you will be reminded of how powerful and strong you are, that you were willing to do that. And I was just like, oh my God, like this was magic. I really felt like this was, yeah, that was huge. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Sherrie, this is my pleasure. And I mean, for me, it all comes back to spirit, right? Because it truly is my blind faith and trust that I have in that inner knowing, that inner voice that I've nurtured for such a long time now. And that's given me the confidence to, step into these sessions and create my healing and empowerment sessions in a way that have been all heart and soul led. Started with a little card reading. Before I knew it, it was energy healing with sound bowls. Before I knew it, it was jump online, let's shift this stuff. And I really love that you mentioned that there was no part of it where it felt bad, but we went to the bad stuff, because
exactly.
I truly believe it can be win-win, and you can go to the dark stuff. I've supported many Gumboots beauties in some really dark stuff, breakups, some childhood trauma, some really, really, really dark stuff. But there've been enough in the dark. We don't need to rehash the dark. We might need to release. We might need to honor. We might need to integrate. We don't need to fix. We need to heal. We need to be. Often we need to feel, to change, shift that into empowerment. Whatever we need to do, spirit decides. Spirit decides. Spirit decides. Spirit decides. And that is a true awakening, when we just lean into the lessons, lean into love, and go, okay, it's really shitty where I am here, but I don't want to be that crazy lady obsessing about those minor things because that's tearing my gown. And
yes,
we all deserve these gowns. We all deserve these gowns, and we can all put those beautiful, beautiful gowns on now, even if you feel quite isolated in your own home, just with the kids, or even if you're driving home from work and thinking you're not going to get that shower tonight. Well, you're going to find a way, because you deserve that gown.
And I love that. I'll just share a little bit with the gown, because that was the first card Kate pulled, was the priestess. And I won't go into the full details, but part of it was that I am going up to the closet. I'm opening the door. I'm looking at my gowns. I'm sometimes even fingering the gowns, but I never actually take it out and put the gown on, and even leave it on. Like Kate said, because I was talking about, but I sometimes feel like I'm in a follow period and I need to restore. And she's like, great, sleep in the gown. You don't have to go outside in it yet, but you should still always be wearing that gown. And I'm like, oh, yes, that hit. That really hit me in the center of that's exactly what I need to be doing. And I will actually share below too, where this talk is actually all congruent and everything showing up with Style School, which also helped a lot, which was, showing up the way inside out. And I haven't been doing that. And I think this is something that Kate really helped me there, was that I'm not showing up from the inside out. I'm showing up as kind of sort of, don't be too shiny. This dress is really too bright. I'm going to pick this bright, which is a bit shadier and won't blind people's eyes so much. And that's not right. I should be showing up shining as brightly as I can.
Yes. What's the saying? Don't dull to fit in. Don't dull your sparkle to fit in. Do you know that one? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I was trying to think of that lighthouse too, like
yeah.
Be the lighthouse.
Yeah,
exactly.
Just be and honor you. Yeah. And if your gown, we all get that this is the metaphor, right? If your gown is tracksuit pants, great, good for you. If you love rocking a pair of tights and a sweater, great, cool. But it's that internal gown. It's that place of inner peace, and that those words, that dialogue that you say to yourself, I'm enough, I'm gorgeous, I am ready, I will show up today, I will share my work, I will speak up, I will prioritize self-care. That's our gowns. I will accept compliments.
Exactly.
I will let someone speak nicely about me. I won't shut them down.
I will accept that it was me who did the work and not just a channel of spirit.
Hey, it's not my turn of being on the receiving end. Thank you, Sherrie. But you're absolutely right. You're right, because I do. I go, I know, aren't the balls magic? Or I'll say, oh yeah, I know spirit's really powerful. No, I'm the vehicle. I'm the channel. I connect to that. That is my work that I have practiced, and then it is my work as well. We talked about this in Sherrie's session as well, that because it's our work, it doesn't mean it's our self-care, because we love it, because we've made choices that have come at cost to commit to our work. It doesn't mean that our self-care has to then become the work. Like,
exactly. I think this is something really important.
Yeah, really important.
Because I confuse this a lot. I really confuse this.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we can't continue doing the work. I mean, I think this is also why I feel like I'm in a fallow period at the moment, because I really do need to pull back a little bit, and I really do need to reassess what I want and what I'm doing. But because I've been carving out the time for the work, and I've been carving out the time to show up that, and it does make me happy, but these are still withdrawals from my heart. I'm not depositing. I'm not doing the self-care. And even though we talk about the self-care all the time, you know,
oh yeah, sure.
what Rebecca Campbell talks about, you know, like the teacher gets the triple smackdown, and that's why they're able to talk about it so much, because they have had this beaten over their head so many times. Oh, learned it again. Oh, learned it again. Oh, learned it again. And I really do believe that the best teachers are one hand down and one hand up. You know, the people who are coming below them, they got the hand down, but they're also simultaneously reaching up to people who've already gone through this and saying, okay, I need help too. And I really love that about this. It was very much a hand down, hand up, you know.
Heals the healer.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
definitely.
like I said, taking that time then to be like, you know what? No, just journaling helps a whole lot, but you need to do more. You know? That's just so that journaling allows you to get the maximum out of the session, because it's already at the surface. We can go right at it, as opposed to you having to dig it up first. And I think that was something that just really got brought home to me, because I'm bad for sessions. You know, I know I need them and everything else, but I do them like once, maybe twice a year. I need a session monthly, man.
Yeah. The other day, a beautiful woman that I go for Reiki for was like, is everything okay? I'm like, I just need some self-care. I was like, no, it's good. I'm just booking it in. I just need some self-care. And I was like, oh, watch out. Like, am I really doing that? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Am I saving my pennies so I can have a one-on-one with Sarah Kay? Yes, I am, because she's worth every cent. And I'm worth every cent. And for me to give back what I want to give and what I do give to my clients, I have to be walking my talk. I have to be filling my cup. I have to be honoring what I need at the time in those moments. And yeah, if that's one thing we can really stress, I think we're stressing a lot of things in this interlude, wear the gown, but also just the power of having someone holding space for you, whoever it is, whoever you feel divinely guided to, and, you know, in whatever shape or form that is. And, you know, that can trigger, definitely do all sorts of things to my ego at times as well, when I'm not the right person for someone. That's my wounded healer comes out, like, oh, but I want to help. No, Kate, no. Trust. The right people come to you exactly where they need, when they need to, just like you will listen to this podcast at the right time, exactly when you need to. And, you know, we're all here to support, to love, to rise up. But if we're not caring for number one and doing what number one needs, we can't do that. The sabotage kicks in, the ego takes the reins, and we feel shit.
And our ego then lies to us about why we feel shit. You know,
yeah, it's because of that person. Oh, no, it's not. It's all you. Yep. Crap.
Exactly.
Damn it. Exactly. But we're enough and we're amazing. All of those things, plus the dark.
Yes, and I was going to say too, this is one thing that was really amazing with this session too, was that it really brought that back to me again, was that yes, we are all one, but that also I can love myself completely. I don't have to be a mother first. I don't have to be a partner first. I get to be me first. And that by loving myself completely, by accepting myself completely, by saying I am worthy of these things, then I'm automatically a better mother, a better partner, a better everything else, because my energy just goes up. And I say, now you meet me here, you know, and by auto, we all rise together, you know, rising tide, you know, like it.
Absolutely.
And that is huge, you know. And again, realizing too that this is fantastic and why I need to do it all the time. So I keep being reminded, because everyday life happens, you know, and this is like a big burst of light and love that, of course, you know, the further out you get, the more it fades. And that doesn't mean that I let it fade. That just means, okay, now it's my next gumboot session. Like, which is my next question. When people want to book with you, how far booked up are you?
Oh my
Like, if someone's like,
yeah. That's a really good question. So really, like, actually today was the first day where I was like, oh my goodness, that's 3 weeks out. That's 3 weeks out. Yes. And actually we worked it around. Healthy boundaries though, instead of doing an in-person session, we were able to work around it and do an evening session sooner. Because this woman was like, oh, can we make it sooner? I'm like, yes, but only if it's online boundary. I can do my evening sessions online when the girls are sleeping soundly. In-person sessions I do on Wednesdays and Fridays. And I have this amazing online booking system on my website that doesn't get utilized enough. So for those that are listening, you can jump on there and there's just like heaps of free time available, because it hardly ever gets used. And if anyone does book and there's a double booking from my paper diary, which I'm trying to wean from, you get priority because you've booked online and used the online booking system. So go book online, beautiful souls. And I've just been talking to Sherrie. I have 2 sessions offered at the moment, and this is all going to change, probably maybe even in the time that this comes to what do we call it, publication, time of recording is shared, that my healing and empowerment sessions, they're listed as 2 separate things, but the healing is empowerment, the empowerment is healing. They're all the same. So what I am going to look at changing sooner rather than later is having some shorter sessions, some extended sessions, so varying prices, varying times to suit more people's needs. So that will be up on the website really soon as well. But yeah, in-person ones are a little bit harder to tie down, but I do offer daytimes, evenings, and I even do the occasional weekend, because Spirit's pretty much like, what's the time of day, or the time of day, as long as it's heart-led and it's within my healthy boundaries and I'm walking my talk. So yeah, right. Gumbootsbythesea.com, Sherrie. Book a session, beautiful soul, please.
Highly recommended.
Oh, thank you, Sherrie. Hey, so do you know how we pulled a card to end for your session? And it was the heart card, but we talked a lot about solar plexus. I just pulled the solar plexus. So this card is from beautiful Inner Hue, Alchemist Oracle. She's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. Solar plexus, beautiful souls, reminds us to always stay grounded in our truth, in our integrity, in who we are, and celebrate that, the light and the dark. Celebrate the dark, because when we celebrate the dark, we heal from the dark, we come into the light and we rise. And that was a huge message for Sherrie, but a huge message for me in as far as what I offer and, you know, what I can offer as Gumboots by the Sea. So Sherrie, thank you. Thank you. And thank you to our beautiful listeners. All right.
That was beyond fabulous.
I can't wait to hear how things integrate and how all the words go for your beautiful book deadline.
I know, but I feel like all of a sudden the shift has happened. It's not going to be a problem to finish it.
Oh, no, not at all. Well, beautiful listeners, you've heard it here, gumbootsbythesea.com for true transformation and growth and shifts. And thank you, Sherrie. Thank you to the beautiful creative spirits listeners, and we will talk to you all next week with the season interlude 2.3, where Sherrie holds space for me, and I'm prepared to have my heart ripped open and then gently put back together again. Thank you, Sherrie. That's what we do.
I don't know if I'm as gentle as you, Kate. I need to work on that.
You're perfect. You're exactly what you are. And who you are, exactly what you are. It's exactly what it'll be. Anyway, I'm rambling. Bye, everyone.